Actually, the first Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Subaltern Journalism Award, and also throw light on the various aspects of social activism. Thank you, sir. Please come.
Good afternoon to all. When Ambedkar landed, rather before he was supposed to land in New York, unfortunately his professor John Dewey passed away. He made a very deep resentment and hurtful feelings regarding this particular sordid episode. Now, when Ambedkar as a journalist, in America it has got a big history, the right of the press. In West Virginia versus Barnett Board of Education, because right from John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, the founding fathers of the American Constitution, because our Indian Constitution is nothing but a product of an European and American law. Having underwent the trials and travails of the freedom of the press, the freedom of the press came to the forefront only after the French and the American Revolution. After the French Revolution in 1789, when America became independent in 1776, they had the writings of three eminent writers, John Locke, Montesquieu and Rousseau, about the theory of liberty. That is why the New York statue was gifted by the French people as a statue of liberty to preserve the right of liberty. Today, if you want to preserve the right of liberty, you should give the right to the press, to the media, to the people at large, because they are the voice of the people. Media people, but what happens here, interestingly, 90% of the population, that's what Karl Marx said, religion is nothing but an opium of the masses. Why he said? 90% of the people are uneducated. Uneducated in the sense, there was a famous journalist in America, he said, if you read newspaper, you are ill-informed. If you don't read newspaper, you are uninformed. So it is a stage between. So journalists, they play a very, very pivotal role in the modern society. In modern contemporary period, journalists are the change makers, they are the heart and soul. Ambedkar, he said Article 32 of the Constitution is the heart and soul. I would say that journalists are the heart and soul of the voice of the people. Now, we only have a body. If you want to have a heart and soul, you should allow the journalist to write independently, fearlessly. Now, today what happens? Today there is a social media. Anybody can write, anybody can talk, anybody can criticize, anybody can condemn. Everyone is a writer. Those days, intellectual people, they used to write. When they write, they have to clear the first board of opposition, censor board, pre-censor. Only after the censor board gives a consent. Unfortunately, even when Thomas Kemp, when he wrote the book Imitation of Christ, that book escaped the scrutiny of the censor board. Like jury system, 12 shopkeepers. One philosopher said, I am writing a book, writing an article. This has to be cleared by the 12 shopkeepers. Who are they to give a clearance on my writing? Because it is like an air. I have a right to breathe. So I have a right to think, or condemn, or praise, or criticize. We can make, I wrote an article 15 years back. It is on the topic radicalist, resurrectionist and reactionaries in Indian democracy. Because in my native state of Tamil Nadu, there was a famous writer called Perumal Murugan. You might have heard about him. When he wrote the book Madhuru Bogan, a famous book criticizing the prevalent social setup, many people they try to kill him. Because, as I said, historically, people who are rebellious in nature, who wrote, their books were burned, they were given the punishment of pillory, they were stoned to death, they were mutilated, they are sacrificed. For what? To protect the rights of the press, to protect their voice. Dr. Ambedkar understood this reality. So he started Mook Nayak, Voiceless of the Dumb, and Vishy Bharat, Excluded Bharat, and Samtan Janta. At the age of 29, 1920, January 31, Ambedkar started this Mook Nayak. When he started, he did not get any financial support. Only the Maharaja of Kolhapur came forward and rendered a financial assistance. Today, lot of leading newspapers in the country, they are predominant, they are well established, they have the financial resource and wherewithal. How? By advertisement. They get a lot of money in advertisement, much against their, you can see that, they used to have a philosophy. If it is a literature, if you are intellectual, you should be wedded to an ideology. You should have some ideology or goal or objective. But what happens, for example, assuming you write against one particular government, criticizing the government. The same government comes forward and gives an advertisement in the same newspaper which is run by a particular media person. So he gets a lot of money on advertisement. This is a type of bribery given to them so that in future articles they do not criticize the government. Now where is the question of fearless or independent media? Ambedkar thought about that and he was very particular that at that time many upper caste or upper segment people who were instrumental in dividing the society. Now Britishers, they are very clever and cunning. They divided our people, our country based on the social hierarchical setup on the concept of Manu Dharma. That is, Ambedkar said, I will burn the book of Manu. Why he wanted to burn it? He said, it is a storage building which doesn't have a stair or access or entry to the downtrodden or people who belong to the various caste and segment. They cannot enter. Indian society is like a building and one people cannot enter into the next staircase because there is no entry. Because it is divided by the caste system. And further he said, if you are born in an upper society, even if you are undeserving, you cannot go down. Even if you are born in the lower strata of society, if you are deserving, you cannot go up. There is no lift or staircase to reach the top. Then what happens here? This is a social enigma. This is a social ostracization. This is inequality. This is against the constitution. So when we talk about the press right, Supreme Court has dealt with a catena of decisions, number of decisions. Right from Rajagopal state of Tamil Nadu, that even prisoners, they have a right to express. And without their consent, even you cannot publish a biography. So truth have to be retold. But intellectual, as I said, 90% of people in this country are uneducated, rather they are not interested, even among the educated elites. Doesn't mean that all the educated elites, they act in an intelligent mind. Only a very few noble, fire souls like poet Subramania Bharatiya, Tagore, or the great philosophical writers, in order to uplift the society, they used to come out with a vociferous or very dynamic thinking which can change the destiny of this world. That is why writing is so powerful. Writers are so powerful. So Dr. Ambedkar, throughout his life, he faced a lot of struggle through way of financial struggle. He was not able to run the magazine either in a fortnight or a monthly, but he never compromised on his values. What value? He never obtained any advertisement from any of the upper strata in the society. The reason is, if you do not support our cause in abolishing the caste system, he had a great respect for Mahatma Gandhi.
हमारे चैनल
बहुजन दस्तक को
लाइक,
शेयर,
सब्सक्राइब
देखना
मत भूलिएगा।
जय भीम,
जय भारत,
जय संविधान।
नमो बुद्धाय।
धन्यवाद।
चैनल आर्थिक समस्या से गुजर रहा है। अगर आप बहुजन समाज में बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर और तथागत बुद्ध की विचारधारा को अधिक से अधिक लोगों तक पहुंचाना चाहते हैं तो हमें आर्थिक सहयोग प्रदान करें, ताकि हम अपने चैनल के माध्यम से देश विदेश में समता, बंधुता, एकता और संवैधानिक अधिकारों को ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों तक पहुंचा सकें। आप अपनी सहायता राशि नीचे लिखे खाते में जमा करा सकते हैं। खाता धारक गौतम रत्ना, खाता संख्या 3169576865 IFSC कोड SBIN 00603336, बैंक भारतीय स्टेट बैंक। आप हमारे बैंक खाते का विवरण स्क्रीन पर भी देख सकते हैं।
हमारे चैनल
गौतम फिल्म्स प्रोडक्शन एंड रॉ सिनेमा को
लाइक,
शेयर,
सब्सक्राइब
देखना
मत भूलिएगा। थैंक्स।
धन्यवाद। मैं गौतम रत्ना गौतम फिल्म्स प्रोडक्शन में आपका स्वागत करता हूं। आप हमारे प्रोडक्शन हाउस के अंदर अपना कैरियर बना सकते हैं एज ए फिल्म डायरेक्टर, एज ए प्रोड्यूसर एंड एक्टर एंड एक्ट्रेस एंड एडिटर एंड सिनेमाटोग्राफर ऑल्सो। और अगर आपको फिल्म से रिलेटेड कुछ भी प्रोजेक्ट आपको बनवाना है तो हमारे पास में पूरा सेटअप है, जिसमें फिल्म कैमरा है, शूटिंग लाइट्स है और एडिटिंग है। सारा A to Z एक ही जगह पर आपको हमारे यहाँ पर मिल जाएगा। तो दोस्तों, आप हमें कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं हमारे नंबर्स पर 9810085714 और 8510005714। हमें मेल भी कर सकते हैं gautamfilmsproduction@gmail.com पर। धन्यवाद।